Independent Challenge 1 in Unit A of Word. So we're going to go ahead and open up Word. And the first thing the assignment asks you to do is to save it as Ito. What I'd like you to do is to save it the way that you're supposed to save it in your syllabus, which is your first name, your last initial, and A1 for assignment 1. But I'm going to go ahead and save this. So I'm going to click on the button up here, task button, and we're going to do a save as a Word document. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a name called Ito. And I'm going to put it in this folder. It's on my documents over here on the side. And I'm going to put it in this folder IS 151 submissions. Actually, I'm going to go back to my documents. That's not where I want to put it. I'm going to put it into, I'm going to make a new folder actually. So I've got, I'm going to make a folder called IS 151 assignments because I'll probably be demonstrating other assignments to you, so I'll put a folder in there. Okay, so I made a new folder and I want to go ahead and give it a name, and the text is telling you to name it Ito Solutions. Ito Letter, excuse me, Ito Letter. And I'm going to hit the save button. Okay, so there at the top you can see that it's been saved as Ito Letter. Alright, then it tells you to make a letterhead. So I'm just going to use my own personal information, which is what you should be doing. Put my name. Oh, first thing, forgot to do that. Before we start doing that, we're going to hit no spacing. Did you notice how when I didn't hit no spacing, it was automatically doing a double space? So we're going to go ahead and hit no spacing up there, and then I'm going to start typing my personal information. And since I'm going to post this on a public website, I'm not going to put my real information in here. And my phone number. And my email address. You see when I put my email address, it turns it into a link. And we're going to take that out in just a minute. Now I want to insert a line to make it look more like a letterhead. So under the Page Layout tab, you can click Page Borders. And I want a horizontal line, so I'm going to stick a horizontal line in there. My computer is really dragging. And we'll just make it like this. I kind of like green, so we'll put that in there. Okay. Now I'm going to later highlight this and center it so it'll look a little neater, but for right now I'm going to leave it alone. And then the book tells the information tells you to put 3 spaces and put in the date, so we'll put in today's date. And you can see that the date kind of automatically pops up there. And then it tells you to type the date, and then 4 lines below the date you need to, so we're going to go back up and count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to address this letter to the person that's in the book on the card. So it's this, And I have no idea if this is a woman or a man by that name, but I'm going to assume it's a woman. Okay, and then below that it tells you to type the salutation. So we'll just put Dear Miss Suzuki. When you're typing a formal letter, you always use a colon instead of a comma. Now it also tells you up here Japan should be in all caps if you're typing to a foreign company, so I'm just highlighting it. I can go to the home button, the home link, and I can change this to all caps. So if I type something that I want to be uppercase and it was lowercase, I can change that easy. Now it tells you to go ahead and type a letter after the salutation, and in the first paragraph you're supposed to thank for the interview. The second paragraph you're supposed to put some examples of your work. In the third paragraph you're supposed to type a final paragraph, so or closing. So I already did this. So I'm actually going to open this up and find that. I don't know where I put it. It's right here. So I'm going to just show you how you can copy and paste. I already had a letter, and you can do this when you're writing thank you letters, or you can get kind of a format when you're applying for jobs. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to that letter and I'm going to paste it into here. But you all need to actually type it. So it's easy as that to type it. And when I had finished typing that last paragraph, I would have to double space for the salutation. And then it tells you to put 4 spaces to put your name. So we'll just put Yvonne, type my name in there, and 2 spaces below that we're going to put enclosures with 3, because I'm going to include 3 enclosures with this letter. And right up here, some people don't know this, but this is where you sign your letter. You sign it between the sincerely and where you wrote your name. And then finally, it is telling us to include a border on the bottom. So you can do that under page layout, page borders again, and I want a horizontal line again. And just to be consistent, we'll use the same one. Now I can click on that thing and I can move it. And that's what we're going to do because I want it at the bottom. Let me undo. I don't like the way that worked. Actually, I think I can do this. Yeah, I can just move that border. Might not be exactly the way they want you to do it, but it works. And that's all there is to doing that lesson. Up here, we're going to format this. It tells you to format this as a center. And so we're going to, if we go under the home, you can click the center and you click for it to be boldface. And we want to make this not be a link. So if we right click on it and I hit remove hyperlink, it will take that away. And so now it's not a hyperlink anymore. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I'm done. Right, you should never submit a letter or a document without first spell checking it and making sure that everything is spelled correctly. So you'll notice here that I had misspelled a word, and here Tokyo is misspelled, and then right here, and when it knows that a word is misspelled, it will underline it with a red line. So there's a couple of ways you can do a spell check, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways. I'm also going to make this be spelled wrong so that you can see how that works. And we'll misspell company too, so you can see how to do spell check. You'll notice that offer is spelled right, but it's not underlining it because it's an actual word. So you should never ever rely on just spell check. You always need to read whatever you're writing and make sure that it makes sense. So this is one way. If it underlines a word like this, it doesn't know what it is or it's misspelled. So I'm gonna right click on that, and it will bring up examples, and executive is the way it should be spelled. So that's one way to change a word. Another way is, and it, like I said, it's not catching this one because it's not spelled wrong, but it should be officer. So I need to fix that by hand. I'm going to show you how spell check works. There's a couple of ways to get to spell check. Spell check is under the review tab, and it's over here under spelling and grammar. But if you remember, we had also put spell check up here. We had included on our customize quick access toolbar. So the quick way to get to it is I'm just going to click on that. It's a little bit faster than doing it the other way. So it's right away noticing that Tokyo is misspelled, and it's giving me a suggestion right here, and that is the correct suggestion. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that and tell it to change it. And then interview is spelled wrong, so it's capturing that up here, interview. And it's also giving me the correct suggestion here, so I'm going to change that. And company as well. So I'm going to let it go ahead and change that as well. And it will give you a message that it's complete, and sorry if that is really loud. And that is all there is to finishing up a document, making sure that you spell check it and that you read it after you finish typing it. Make sure that you don't have any other typos in there that spell check didn't catch.